not an easy job. Definitely psychologically, I want to do a video just on that's what I wanted to do today, was a trapper psychologically. But like, I mean, this winter-esque, when it's mild like this in the midday, it's not so bad. And my Wolverine track is gone. Bye, Mr. Wolverine. Get the hell off my property anyway. You ain't paying taxes. But anyway, yeah, so you're something I mentioned about a good hunting rifle is, like I say, something that's quick to shoulder, something that takes up recoil fairly well. Twig. I got him. Oh, the black crosshairs against the dark tree are visible. That is crazy. My black crosshairs turn brown. Like a brownish, so if I'm against a black, that is awesome. That is really cool. Again, I barely take this thing out, but the scope on this scope is really cool. Just put it on my rifle. Nice and light. But yeah, so something that when you're walking with it, you're not aware it's there, but the second you see something, you can be up. Okay, that's say 30 yards. Yeah, I got him. I scope leaves, but this thing is very shoulderable, and the cheek rest on this is great. So if you're picking a rifle, you're picking a bow, crossbow, if you've never handled it, you're going to think the front of this thing is really heavy. But again, once you pick up heavier rifles, like things like I say, I can, if I really wanted it, if there was a rabbit there, I could smoke them. You know, like this is like a really heavy handgun. You know, it'd be a really heavy handgun. It's like a Magnum, 500 Magnum weight, but with, you know. But the point is that this thing doesn't feel heavy. If I'm not looking at it, I'll forget it's in my hand. But what gets you is that you're always, again, the nice thing, the reason why I got this big stock here, so your fingers are never in the way of the deck, and I'm always kind of, you know, doing that anyway. But the thing is, the stock is really slippy. They kind of roughed it up here a bit, but it's still pretty slippy. I don't like that, but the grip is great. It's like a plastic stock, right? But it's very rigid, so this thing is pretty accurate. Like, it's sub MOA at like, say, 30 yards. You know, around an MOA at about 40 or 50. Thing moving in there. But yeah, I figured, yeah, I'll start bringing this out just to say I'm using it, you know what I mean? But I think I'd prefer the rifle. The thing is that for those prepper types out there, this might not be the best idea to get a bow or a high poundage crossbow like this. Even though this thing has taken it, not this specific one, but this model has. This was the first crossbow model to take an elephant, I believe. The owner of Excalibur basically went on a safari. I mean, despite what you think about elephant hunting, I got mixed emotions about it. As long as you can do something with the meat, I don't care. And if you're doing conservation, it's okay. You know, if you're taking out the non-breeding bulls or whatever, that's fine. You know, get the old stuff out of there so the younger stuff can get more of a chance. Sure. But the point is that you're capable of punching through an elephant with this. It's like, it doesn't get any better than that, right? So deer, bear, moose, wild chickens, they got nothing on me. The only other thing I'll say before I get into my next video of the psychological of being a trapper is that if you fire your bolt and you get your deer and you're happy, you're going to spend more time looking for your bolt than you are your game, right? So that's one of the downsides, is that you can't just put wooden dowels on there and expect them to work. Maybe on a lower poundage crossbow, where if you had the way to, you know, like some weight scales like I got for reloading, you can get the arrow jig so you can weigh the weight of your arrow shafts or bolt shafts. These don't fire arrows, they fire bolts. If you could do that, then yeah, you could probably have an endless supply of cheap bolts and then make, I don't know, broadheads out of tin, you know, for doomsday. But other than that, they require a little bit too much of a precision, you know, projectile, you know what I mean? And I mean, this bolt here was probably 15-20 bucks, you know what I mean? So if it's not an animal that's going to give you something spectacular, put, you know, fill your freezer, you're not going to shoot, right? Whereas if it you know, you could shoot a flu off this, it'd be the coolest thing, and then you go bird hunting with it. But you get the idea that although this is, according to the game warden I was talking to, this is, I mean, they're fully suppressed, right? Although they do make a hell of a clack. You know, they're probably not as loud as a 22, but it's like taking a hammer and whacking against the table when you shoot them. But to me, it's like, it's the losing the bolt thing. You got to be willing to lose the bolt. So you're hunting not for efficiency, you're hunting for the idea that you know, you're going to get thought I saw a rabbit. I wouldn't waste a bolt on a rabbit, you know, unless it was just for the giggles of getting a rabbit, and it's like, okay, I don't care if I lose my bolt. This bolt will go into the ground, you'll never find it. You'd be surprised how powerful this thing is. I don't shoot any closer than 30 yards to my target. What do we got going on here? It looked like there was a trapper. He was on foot, and he was traveling with an otter. Notice how one side of his foot is a little heavier. Plus, he dragged the chain from the trap. there you go. That's my, yeah. Well, I'm almost there. We're about to find out whether, just so you know, I'm going to pause the camera here, because I know I'm just babbling right now, but it's a nice day to babble. But last night when I was skinning my otter, thought I heard a wolf or a coyote let out a couple of yelps. So who knows, maybe I got something in there. We're going to see.